Good afternoon and late morning for some of us. I'm Eric Mittenthal. I am Vice President of Sustainability at the North American Meat Institute, and really excited to join today to talk a little bit about prepared beef products. We're going to get going in a couple of minutes here, but before we do, I wanted to maybe just start with some trivia. I'm actually president of the National Hot Dog and Sausage Council. Believe it or not, we're a real thing, and I'm the hot dog top dog. And so my role is to share hot dog information. So I thought maybe we would start off this morning with a little bit of a quiz on hot dogs. And so we'll get rolling. And I even have a Wiener Warrior T-shirt to anybody who's interested. So if you're watching this and want to win a T-shirt, you can join in and answer some questions before we get rolling with the real content here. So the first question I'll ask is who who uttered, when transitioning from the silent screen, uttered hot dogs as his or her first ever on-screen words. And I'll give some choices here. Is it Charlie Chaplin, Greta Garbo, Groucho Marx, or Mickey Mouse? And if you know the answer to that, leave it in the comments and let us know what you think, and we can maybe award this T-shirt for anybody who knows the answer to that question of who uttered hot dogs as their first on-screen words, going from silent movies. So I'll move to the next question, and please comment with your answers. The next question is, what is the average weight fully loaded of a baseball park's hot dog vendor's bin? Is it 25 pounds, 10 pounds, 40 pounds, or 100 pounds? So average weight of a baseball park hot dog vendor's bin when it's fully loaded: 25 pounds, 10 pounds, 40 pounds, or 100 pounds. A reminder to put your answer in the comments, and we'll award a T-shirt to anybody. All right, Rama's got an answer for the first one. Rama, you're right. It's Mickey Mouse. Good job. So next up, the average weight of the hot dog bin. We'll do one more question before we get rolling here with the real content. And the other question I'll ask is, which American president served hot dogs as part of a state visit with the King and Queen of England? And it gives away a little bit of the timeline of the King and Queen of England. So which American president served hot dogs as an event meal as part of their get-together? So tell us what you think. I won't do multiple choice for that, since I gave away King and Queen of England when they came to visit here in the U.S. And you can let us know what you think about that answer as well. And that's a little bit of hot dog trivia for you on to get us started this morning. So now that we've hit noontime, want to get rolling with a little bit more. My name is Eric Mittenthal. As I mentioned at the beginning, I am Vice President of Sustainability at the North American Meat Institute, and really excited to join today. We're going to be talking a little bit about prepared beef, and answer any questions you have about prepared beef, what it is, its nutrition, and really prepared meats as a whole, and talk about sustainability. The North American Meat Institute is the trade association for meat packers and processors. Our members are everyone from your very largest Tyson, Smithfield, Hormel, JBS, Cargill, to Uncle Charlie's Sausage Company, and everybody in between. Our members produce 95% of the red meat in the US and 70% of the turkey in the US. And so really, if you're getting meat in the US, odds are it's coming from North American Meat Institute members. We're contractors to the Beef Checkoff, and that is made up of money from beef farmers and ranchers that come together to do research and promotion specifically of beef. And our role with the Beef Checkoff is to do promotion of prepared beef products and work closely with dietitians to provide nutrition facts and information about prepared beef products, as well as other resources that would be valuable, promote prepared beef products in a variety of different ways throughout the year, and always value our engagements with the registered dietitian community to make sure that we're providing you resources that are valuable and helpful. And Kristen got the answer right on my last hot dog question. Congratulations, Kristen. It was Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Although I probably should have asked you to give a specific Roosevelt on that answer. So thank you for your reply there. And please, if you have questions throughout this, I'm going to try to do my best to keep up with the chat feature and make sure that I'm answering any questions you have. Want to make sure that we make this engaging and valuable for you to answer any questions you have about prepared beef products. As I mentioned, I'm also president of the National Hot Dog and Sausage Council. The Hot Dog and Sausage Council is a project of the North American Meat Institute to do promotions of hot dogs and sausages as the great all-American foods that they are. We have a lot of resources on nutrition and ingredients and things like that we aim to bust a lot of the mythology around hot dogs and sausages as well. And that ties into our work with the Beef Checkoff too. Please, as a reminder, before we get going, to take the survey that Buildup Dietitians has developed and is linked to in the comments, and you can win some swag by taking that survey. And so we want to get your feedback and hear from you about answering some of those questions. So as I mentioned, that's in the chat feature, and looking forward to seeing your responses. So let's talk a little bit about prepared beef products and prepared meats in general. What are prepared meats, first of all? Prepared meats are the category of meats that include hot dogs and sausages, deli meats such as roast beef, corned beef, pastrami, salami, bologna, as well as, and then beef jerky as well. You've probably heard those products referred to as processed meats. We do not use the term processed for a variety of reasons, and first and foremost being that the term processed, particularly in relation to any food, I think for consumers has a very negative connotation. And so right off the bat, when you're talking about food that's processed, for a lot of consumers, it just brings about a lot of negativity. And so we wanted to think about what are some other terms that would be more appropriate and effective to use with consumers that don't have that negative connotation right off the bat when you use them. And we felt like prepared was a really good term to use for a few reasons. First of all, prepared is a synonym of processed. If you look in the dictionary, the thesaurus, it's hard to say, the thesaurus, they are synonyms, and so they are interchangeable to an extent with one and another. When you're making, if you were to make a hot dog or a sausage or a deli meat at home, which are all foods that people can and do make at home, you would say at home that you were preparing those products. You wouldn't necessarily use the term that you were processing those products. The processing really has come on, is used for a larger scale production. And if you think about how you might make a prepared product at home versus how it's made in a meat plant, really it's the same thing. Same types of ingredients are being used, the same production methods being used. The big difference between the two is the scale. When you're producing it at home, you're making it at a very small scale just for your family. When you're doing it in a meat plant, you're making it at a very large scale to feed a large number of people. And so really when you're making it in the plant, and the products you see in the stores are prepared the same way you would do it at home, just at a much different scale. And so that's why we use the term prepared. We actually did some consumer research on the different terms to get a sense of how consumers react to the terms, and overwhelmingly we found that prepared is just a far more acceptable term to consumers and something that they don't look at as negatively as processed. And so we felt like rephrasing the way that we talk about prepared products versus processed was an important step to take. And so, in our resources and the way that we communicate about them, we use the term prepared, and hope that the dietitian community can work with us to use effective terminology that's not going to turn consumers off from foods that they enjoy, particularly just based off of the terms that they're using. One thing that we've seen for certain during the pandemic is that prepared meat products have been very popular. We know that sales of hot dogs, sausages, deli meats have really skyrocketed over the last several months, particularly at the beginning of the pandemic when people were really unsure about what was going to be available on store shelves. And so we've seen we've seen really large sales figures from all of those types of products, and I think the reason for that are very clear. Consumers are looking for products that are nutritious, convenient, family friendly, and easy to prepare. That they can have a lot of confidence in at home. That they have a lot of familiarity with in their homes. And so, when they feel that pressure to provide products that are family friendly and delicious, and they can have that confidence in with their families, they're turning to convenient prepared beef products and prepared meat products that they know that they can trust and enjoy. So we've seen a lot of folks doing that, and have really, as an industry, been very proud to provide products that consumers are turning to, and making sure that we're offering a variety of products that people are enjoying and want to utilize and eat during this time of uncertainty. One of the biggest questions that we get about prepared meat products and prepared beef products is about their nutrition. And are they nutritious foods, and what is the nutrition of them? And I think when you see processed meat referred to in the dietary guidelines and some of the ways that it is communicated about, oftentimes in a negative way, products are painted with a very broad brush. And I think that's one of the challenges, particularly as dietitians, is to look beyond the broad brush that products are painted as. And when you look at the dietary guidelines, the recommendation is, particularly with meat, is that people eat lean meats, and watch their sodium and saturated fat, and then there's the message to reduce what dietary guidelines refer to as processed meat consumption. However, when you look at the prepared meat category, there is such a wide variety that it's hard to make that broad statement while ignoring the fact that prepared meats are consistent. There are many prepared meats that can be consistent with products that are recommended by the dietary guidelines. And so when you think about recommending products that are lean, that can be lower in sodium, lower in fat, there are many prepared beef products that fit into that category. And so I think it's important to look at the context of how the prepared meat products, of their nutrition of actual products, and the availability of a wide range of different products on the marketplace that do meet dietary guidelines, and are what is recommended by the dietary guidelines. And so even something like a hot dog, which doesn't always have the best perception, but a hot dog with a bun is going to be 250 calories. The nutrition of the meat in the hot dog is the same as the nutrition that you're getting from other meats. It has it's high in protein, it has iron, it has vitamin B12. And there's a lot of different formulations that are lower in sodium, that are lower in fat. And so, we aim to provide resources that can steer consumers and dietitians to the products that fit those recommendations, and provide the nutrition attributes that people are seeking when they're looking for different nutrition. Particularly when you talk about different deli meats, roast beef in particular, there are many different varieties of roast beef products that do fit into the lower sodium, lower fat. And so those are widely available and easy for consumers to access. So question from the chat, from the Buildup team, a question about prepared meat and negative press due to the International Agency for Research on Cancer classification. Can I speak to that and what the report said? Absolutely. So the International Agency for Research on Cancer did designate processed meat as type 1 carcinogens, which say that it is, the evidence shows that they do cause cancer. There are several there are several drawbacks to the research that they used, as well as their classification system. So the International Agency for Research on Cancer specifically looks at agents that they aim to determine, are they cancer hazards, meaning in some circumstance, is it possible under some circumstance that a product can cause cancer. They're not aiming to look at a risk assessment, meaning the levels that you would need to consume in order for it to cause cancer. And so they're basically setting out to answer that broad question: is it possible for this to cause cancer? So they've looked at more than 1,000 different agents over the course of their existence, and of them, only one has been designated by the International Agency for Research on Cancer that it does not cause cancer. That's a product called caprolactam, which is used in yoga pants. So feel confident about your yoga pants. They're safe. They will not cause cancer. But every other agent they've looked at, they've made some determination that it can possibly cause cancer. And so the important thing to look at when it comes to those classifications are, what is the context within the diet? And if you look at the amount of prepared meat products that Americans and people all around the world generally consume, they're at levels that are at the levels that would be recommended by the dietary guidelines and dietary guidance around the world. They're at levels that are far below what a lot of the research suggests where the cancer concerns are. And so because IARC does not provide that more specific more specific detail on what the amount you would need to consume and where the risk is, it's hard to take meaningful conclusions away from it. But generally, at the levels that Americans are consuming prepared meats, the cancer risk is extremely low. And you have to weigh the nutrition as well. And so, as people are looking for products that do have good protein and iron and vitamin B12 and other nutrition attributes, that's something else that IARC does not look at. And so, it's important to weigh the nutrition benefits you're getting from products as well. And so, that's where IARC again falls short and offers very confusing messages. And all of the media attention that was received to that report led the WHO, which is IARC's parent agency, to come out and issue a clarification saying that meat and processed meat products do offer nutrition benefits, and that people should consume them in moderation. And as we said, that the levels that people are consuming them currently do not reach a threshold where there would be major concerns about cancer. So hopefully that answers that question. And there's continuous research going on around that question. And so we're always looking to further the research and provide clarity. Can I share the amount of prepared meats that individuals in the U.S. Are consuming? I don't have that data right in front of me. I think it's less than 2 ounces a day. It's right around 2 ounces a day that Americans consume. We actually have a resource on our website at meatpoultrynutrition.org that has a lot more details on the amount of products that Americans are currently consuming, and so that's within that document. So go check out and bebeefprepared.org is another website that we've developed that has a lot of that resources, and so that has the details from NHANES on the amount of meat and amount of prepared meat products that Americans are currently consuming. So thank you for that question. Really appreciate to provide that information. Um, Also on the nutrition website at bebeefprepared.org, which includes the information from meatpoultrynutrition.org, we have a guide to different products that fit different nutrition attributes for different prepared meat products. So if you're looking for a particular product that's lower in sodium or lower in fat, we actually have a listing of the products that are available that fit those specific nutrition attributes. We have American Heart Association certified products listed on there. And so if you're trying to find products that fit those particular nutrition attributes to recommend to your clients, those products are all available on the website, and you can steer them to specific products that we know are confirmed to meet those different nutrition attributes. So I would encourage you to check that out, and it's a really helpful resource. There's more than 1,000 different products that fit one of the nutrition attributes that people are most commonly requesting, and so we made that database for people to use, and have a lot of resources on there to utilize with that. I want to talk a little bit about the question came up about cancer, and one of the most common questions we receive is about nitrite and sodium nitrite in the diet, and use in prepared meat products. First of all, I want to share that we just recently published a continuing education webinar that is available on our bebeefprepared.com website that it offers credits for watching and answering questions. It's certified by the certification folks who do that, and it really gets into the deep science of nitrite and why it's used and its role in prepared meats. And so, for folks looking for continuing education credits and want to learn a little bit more about nitrite, I would encourage you to go check that out at bebeefprepared.com. But nitrite is really one of the most thoroughly studied ingredients in our food supply, because there's been so many questions about it over the years. And the U.S. National Toxicology Program actually went in and looked specifically at nitrite and asking the question, does it cause cancer? And the U.S. National Toxicology Program came to the conclusion that nitrite does not cause cancer. And so we still have a lot of questions and misinformation about nitrite and its use. Nitrite is actually the greatest sources of nitrite in the American diet. Are vegetables and our own saliva. Prepared meat products usually give people about 4 to 5% of their nitrite consumption, total nitrite consumption. So it's very low from prepared meat products. And one of the concerns, and I think the link to cancer comes in around concerns about the formation of nitrosamines, which can form from nitrite and iron when it's digested. But one of the ways that, and nitrosamines are a cancer concern, but one of the ways that meat companies mitigate that concern is the research has shown that the inclusion of vitamin C as an ingredient within prepared meat products has shown to virtually eliminate nitrosamine formation when you eat it. Hello to Kim Kircher for joining us today. Thanks, Kim. And so you'll see in the ingredient statement of the vast majority of prepared meat products that it includes some form of vitamin C, whether it's cherry powder for a lot of the natural ingredient products. You'll see it as sodium ascorbate, or sodium erythorbate, which are both forms of vitamin C. And so that vitamin C helps with the curing process, but then also helps helps reduce and virtually eliminate the nitrosamine formation. So a really important element of prepared meat production that a lot of folks don't fully understand and miss when they're discussing that issue. And so we have a lot more detail on that in our continuing education webinar and in our resources at bbprepared.com. So I'd encourage you to check those out and give them a good read. We also have some resources on protein and sodium and some of the science around that and some of the questions that we commonly get around protein and sodium in prepared meat products. I want to talk a little bit about sustainability of prepared meat and transition into some of the work that the meat industry is doing related to sustainability, because we get a lot of questions on sustainability and the future of meat and some of the products that have really made sustainability a focus in their criticism of meat products. And so, first of all, as it relates to prepared meat products, I think prepared meat products, I would confidently say, are the original sustainable meat product because they utilize, make sure we are able to utilize all of the meat from the animal. Animals don't just provide steaks and roasts. They provide a lot of other meat that typically goes to ground beef, and it goes to hot dogs and sausages and other prepared products. And so, if we were not utilizing all of that meat that the animal provides, I think we'd be doing a great disservice, and certainly would not be sustainable as an industry without making sure that we're utilizing everything the animal offers. And really, when it comes to utilizing the entire animal, it goes beyond just the meat products. Parts of the animal are used for things like cosmetics and medicines, and certainly you have leather. And then a lot of the organs from the animal are exported to other countries where those are valuable parts of the diet in other countries around the world that Americans might not find so appetizing, but they are regularly consumed in other parts of the world. And so those are some of the ways that we utilize the entire animal. Really, as an industry as a whole, when we are utilizing an animal for meat and for other, all of its parts, we don't waste anything. Everything is used for something, and so we take great pride in our ability to make sure we're getting full use of the animal for meat and all the other products that it can provide. But we recognize that there are a lot of questions about the industry's environmental impact and other sustainability questions. And my title is Vice President of Sustainability, and so we've taken on sustainability as a major focus of ours at the North American Meat Institute over the last couple of years, developing a sustainability effort that focuses on 5 key pillars. And so within those our 5 key pillars are food safety, animal welfare, environmental impact, health and wellness for people, nutrition, and then labor and human rights. And so within all of those key areas, those key pillars, we are developing continuous improvement goals and targets to really work towards over the next decade to make sure that we are meeting consumer concerns about the industry and our impact in all of those areas, and showing the proof points for improvement across our industry over the next decade. And so it's something that we've been putting a lot of work into, and come next spring, we're going to be announcing a lot of very ambitious goals and targets that we're going to be working towards over the next decade to make sure that we're minimizing our impact, providing the best nutrition we possibly can, providing the safest foods we possibly can, and animal welfare, best animal welfare as we possibly can as well. And so we're doing a lot of that already, and I think those are things that have been a focus, but we've really taken the step to develop the proof points towards a lot of that, and thinking about how we can improve even further, and taking a real big step toward addressing some of the concerns that consumers have about meat products. And so we'll be coming out with a lot more of that coming up next spring, and certainly would value feedback from the dietitian community on all of that work that we're doing and making sure that we are addressing the concerns that you hear from your clients and the folks that you interact with on a regular basis, and providing you with resources that address questions about the meat industry and the various things that we do around environmental impact and animal welfare and those types of and all of the pillars that we have. I will add that what we're doing around sustainability at the Meat Institute is not unique to North American Meat Institute members. There are a variety of efforts across the industry that are doing very similar work across the different proteins and focused on the different producers of different proteins. And so you have groups like the U.S. Roundtable for Sustainable Beef, which brings together farmers and ranchers, as well as our members, the packers and processors, retailers and restaurants, and other organizations like the World Wildlife Fund and the Nature Conservancy, to develop best practices for the beef industry as a whole, and look at what continuous improvement is needed, and develop metrics and targets towards that for the beef industry specifically. And so that work's been going on for several years, and they've really taken a lot of steps in recent years to formalize a framework about what continuous improvement looks like for the beef industry as a whole. The pork industry is going through very similar work through the Pork Industry We Care program. And so we're working with the pork industry as well, and their We Care program has several of the same principles as we do around our 5 key pillar areas. The poultry industry has a U.S. Roundtable for Sustainable Poultry and Eggs, which is also doing very similar work that brings together different stakeholders from across the industry to look at sustainability for the poultry and egg sector as well. The dairy industry has the Innovation Center for U.S. Dairy, and so it is a sustainability and across all of the broad definition of sustainability. Environmental impact, I think, is the one that a lot of people focus on, but it's more than that. Is a real focus of the industry, and something we're taking very seriously and have been doing a lot of work on. And so I think you'll be seeing a lot more of that coming in the near future. But I want to highlight that that's what I spend the majority of my time on these days is developing what the future looks like for the meat industry and what continuous improvement looks like. I think prepared beef products and prepared meat products, as I mentioned, play a very important role in all of that. And so we'll be continuing to work on that. And I would encourage folks who have questions or are interested in learning more about the work we're doing and want to learn more about sustainability in the meat industry to please reach out to me, and I'm happy to share resources and any other materials that would be of value around that. And so to wrap it up, please ask any questions that you have about prepared meat and sustainability. You can connect with us in social media. We are on Facebook. Our Facebook page is actually American Meat Institute, but if you search North American Meat Institute, you'll find us as well. We're on Twitter at Meat Institute. We are on Instagram. It's at meat_up. You can find me on Twitter at meatvp. And we're on Instagram as the National Hot Dog and Sausage Council as well. It's at Hot Dog Council. And check us out. Our nutrition website has a lot of really great resources, and so you can get there. It's at meatpoultrynutrition.org. And then we're also developing more resources at bebeefprepared.org or .com, bebeefprepared.com, and we'll have a lot more on there in the near future. So I don't see any other additional questions or comments coming through as we finish up here. And so I did promise a T-shirt, and so I think we should go with our first answer from Rama on Mickey Mouse for she got it right on the Hot Dog and Sausage Council question. Mickey Mouse's first words were hot dog when Mickey Mouse first started talking on screen. So Rama, message the Buildup Dietitian page. We'll get you a T-shirt if you'd like it, and you can be a wiener warrior along with us. So thanks to very much to everybody for joining. Really appreciate the opportunity to talk to you today, and look forward to any further questions you have. Feel free to reach out to me. emittenthal at meadinstitute.org also is my email, and I'm sure the Buildup team can share all of those details as well. So really appreciate it, and thanks to everybody for joining.